Midday News on 3FM. My name is Beatrice Adu. The news is also live on Kasmi 107.1 FM and across the world at 3news.com. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Supreme Court in a 5-2 majority decision throws out suit seeking to declare as unconstitutional the FDA directive which prohibits celebrities from advertising alcoholic beverages. Also coming up, indefinite strike by medical laboratory professional workers union takes a toll on healthcare delivery across all 16 regions of the country. We're live with updates. Much later, Opposition National Democratic Congress unveils 2024 election campaign team, which will be led by Professor Joshua Alabi. Thank you very much for joining us. Let's start from the health front, where patients in need of laboratory services in public health facilities have been left stranded as Medical Laboratory Professional Workers Union strike enters its third day. The laboratory professionals began an indefinite strike on Monday in demand for better conditions of service. Series of negotiations with the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission have been inconclusive, necessitating the latest industrial action. William Evans Inkum has been assessing the impact of the situation from the country's second premium hospital, the Komfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital in Kumasi in the Ashanti region. He joins us live on the line. William, walk us through how patients are having a direct effect as a result of the strike by these lab technicians.
All right, so their unit is one of the busiest as far as medical delivery chain in the Komfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital is concerned. So we are talking about colossal number of patients, both in and outpatients, who go there to get their ailments diagnosed or examined so that the doctor will be informed as to what medical application will be appropriate as far as medical delivery in that particular facility is concerned. And that is the level of effect that is having on them, because when they go there, hitherto there was nothing. But I can tell you that the teaching hospital, the management of the teaching hospital has, made some or instituted some contingency measures. So what is happening is that they have engaged some private laboratory technicians who are running operation at the moment. So when you go there, you see them delivering service to a patient who have come there to seek their service. So both in and then outpatients are all getting service as far as this particular on-pass is concerned. So they have become the stopgap. Now, in the case of inpatients, whatever cost is incurred is added to their bills. For outpatients, the status quo still remains. They go there, they pay for their services.
So when you say for inpatients, whatever cost that is incurred, can you explain further what does that mean?
So patients who are already on admission at the Komfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital, they are taken care of, and then the cost is added to their bills. For those who are coming in for the first time, or they come and then probably they are discharged on the same day, they go there and then they pay for, they pay themselves. So that is what I mean by inpatient and then outpatient.
Thank you very much, William Evans Inkum, reporting live from the Komfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital in the northern part of the country. The strike is biting even harder as a result of the fewer laboratories there. Christopher Mwako is in Salaga in the Savannah region. He joins us live as well. Christopher, what can you report from where you are?
Yes, so Beatrice, the situation has not been easy for in and out patients and also healthcare givers at the Salaga Government Hospital, because there are fewer private laboratories in town. And so now what they have to do is that they refer people as far as Tamale and Yeji to go and do private labs because of the strike by the laboratory technicians. As it stands now, blood transfusion has become a major challenge for hospital staff because they are unable to do so because of the strike. And since the strike began, patients, relatives, and patients themselves have been bearing the brunt. Some healthcare givers in Salaga have been speaking to me. Let's take a listen to what they've been saying.
Christopher,
I've visited some.
we don't have that yet, but in the Confanoche Teaching Hospital, William Evans Income talked about some contingency measures. Do I get the understanding that where you are, there are no measures to at least meet patients halfway?
Yeah, so for here, there is nothing of that sort. What is happening here is that even the laboratory technicians have not come, they don't come to work since the strike began. If you, when I visited the hospital, the lab was under lock and key, and so people are just being referred from the ANC, from the consulting rooms and the various wards. They are referred to other places where they can get access to these laboratory services. As for the hospital laboratory itself is locked.
Thank you very much, Christopher Mwako. He's our Northern Region correspondent. In the Sekondi Takoradi metropolis, some public laboratories are closed with no workers in sight. Let's go live to the Western Region, where Parker Peters has been visiting some public facilities to assess the impact there. Parker, which facilities have you visited? What can you report from there?
I've visited some of the facilities within the metropolis, including the Kwesimintim Government Hospital, as well as the Iskado Government Hospital, where I'm standing currently. Unfortunately, the strike action by the medical laboratory services is already having a toll on patients who are supposed to their facilities. Over here at Iskado Government Hospital, we were told they've engaged the services of casual workers. Unfortunately, they have also joined their colleagues and they failed to report this morning at work. So patients who came here today have been directed to private facilities around. At Kwesimintim, we met the absence of laboratory staff. So the situation is really biting hard on patients who are supposed to access laboratory services at some of the medical facilities over here in the Western region.
I suppose you've been able to speak to some authorities there. What have they been telling you?
Yeah, authorities are calling on the government to, as a matter of urgency, ensure their grievances are resolved so they can report to work. Example is the Iskado Hospital. The situation is really negatively affecting patients who came here today. I spoke to the administrator at Iskado Government Hospital, and according to him, they have even engaged the services of casual workers. Unfortunately, they also failed to report to work, maybe in solidarity with their colleagues. So they are all pleading with government as a matter of urgency to ensure their grievances are resolved immediately so they can all report to work.
Yeah, for the casuals, yeah, it's true that we have contract with them. We have engaged them. They're about 4 to 5 in numbers. But once they get on board and they work with them in the same unit, they indirectly or partly become part of the brother association. So all that we are saying that we hope that whatever negotiation ought to be done, it will be expedited so that these people will come back to work.
But when I came this morning, nobody is there. So it means they have started. The doctors cannot work without the lab. When you come to the hospital, you have to go through the lab to see whatever that is happening. So without them, it will be difficult for us to work.
Parker Peters reported live from the Western region. Now, with a little over 5 months for Ghanaians to go to the polls, the largest opposition party, the National Democratic Congress, has announced the team to prosecute the party's campaign for the December 7 polls. Already, the flag bearer, John Mahama, and his running mate, Professor J. Nano Pokwajiman, have been touring the country with the flag bearer meeting various stakeholder groups to seek their views as the NDC readies to launch its People's Manifesto. The announcement of the NDC campaign team was contained in a statement signed by the NDC General Secretary Fifi Kwete. Now, the statement says that the Functional Executive Committee of the NDC, after extensive consultations and deliberations, constituted the national campaign team that will prosecute the party's 2024 presidential and parliamentary campaigns. Let me run you through the membership of the 2024 NDC campaign team. National campaign team comprises of Fifi Kwete, who is the General Secretary, and also the campaign coordinator, Dr. Joseph Yamin, Deputy Campaign Coordinator in charge of regional campaigns. There's also Richard Kwashiga, who is Deputy Campaign Coordinator in charge of parliamentary campaigns. And then there's Chief Hamilton Nixon-Baini, Deputy Campaign Coordinator in charge of special operations. Sami Jemfi, he's the National Communications Officer. He's part of this team. Giorgio Pariado, National Youth Organizer, part of the team. Dr. Hannah Bisu, National Women's Organizer. Alhaji Younger, National Zongo Caucus coordinator, Professor Joshua Alabi. He's the head of the Flag Bearers campaign. That's John Mahama's campaign. Joyce Bawa Mokhtari, spokesperson, Flag Bearers campaign. Beatrice Adu, deputy spokesperson, Flag Bearers campaign. Alex Segbefia, head of Running Mates campaign. James Ajenim Boateng, spokesperson, Running Mates campaign. There is Eric Ajay, who is deputy spokesperson, Running Mates campaign. Now, for more on the membership of the national campaign team, you can go to 3news.com for more of that information. But let me also bring you some other information as well. The national campaign team shall work under the guidance of a campaign steering committee, which has these individuals on board. Johnson Asiedun Ketia, who is currently the chairman of the party, Fifi Kwete, general secretary, Dr. Atofosin, minority leader of parliament, Right Honorable Do Ajaho, that's the former speaker of parliament. He's part of this national campaign team at the steering committee. Alhaji Hudu Yahya. There's also Kofi Totobi Kwache, Samuel Ofoswam Pofo, Dr. Kwabena Dofo, Betty Modi Drusu, former education minister, and also former attorney general. You have Julius Debra, Marietta Brewer Piopong, also a former Attorney General Dr. Valerie Sawyer, Sam Piloye, and then Alhaji Al-Hassan Ligbe. Now, the National Campaign Team and Steering Committee shall all work under the leadership of the flag bearer of the party, John Mahama, and report to the Functional and Executive Committee of the party in charge of their duties. Like I told you, this statement was issued some hours ago, signed by the General Secretary of the party. Let's put this to some quick analysis. We're joined by Dr. Jonathan Asante-Okyere. He's a senior lecturer at the University of Cape Coast and a political analyst. Good afternoon to you, Doc. Thank you for joining us.
Good afternoon, Beatrice.
Doc, I'm sure you've seen the team. Is it one that can this time take the NDC beyond the finish line?
Well, especially when you have, good afternoon to your listeners, especially when you have the General Secretary who contributed largely in bringing down the APP 2008 as being a national coordinator, and having the chairman as the chairman of the steering committee, and attaching the national organizer as deputizing for that of the national, secretary, is very instructive, because you need that interface in the sense that the national organizer who is deputizing will have to perform its function as national organizer, liaising and coordinating the grassroots organization, as it were, with that of the youth organizer and that of the women organizer, and then coordinate, affairs at the regional level. I think that is quite instructive, and it sends, a kind of message in terms of the coordination and the architecture that they are putting, out there. When it comes to the national chairman, being the chair of the steering committee, the steering committee is to guide. And don't forget that all of them will have to report to the flag bearer, but definitely they will have to route it through the steering committee to ensure that that interface and all other loopholes are covered. Now, having the national, secretary as the one holding the coordinatorship, it fits well into the architecture of the party. One, you know that the national general secretary is the head of the day-to-day administration of the party. So that will be covered. Two, in terms of logistics, you will have to liaise with the national organizer. The national organizer will have to raise a budget of the sort. And in terms of funding, they will have to coordinate to ensure that they raise the necessary funds, to ensure that things, are done accordingly. This time around to having three important powers within the party dedicated to the service of the running mate, Professor Namijina Pokajima, it sends some kind of message that, one, if you look at the voter aspect, of the party, you have Secretary Mr. a lawyer, for excellence. In his public service, you are yet to hear anything. The running mate herself has had a public, an unblemished public and academic life, and of course, political life. And so there was a need for the system to, allot, as it were, people who are untainted and that is the likes of Egofia, and then James Edenimbuatu will take care of the Ashanti base. Then Eric will be taking care of the middle and that of the northern part, of the country. And I think that for me looks much of a coordinated effort on the part, of the leadership of the party.
So, Doc, do I hear you say two things? That you think this is a very formidable team, and you think that with the composition of the membership, that you are foreseeing a seamless kind of coordination towards 2024. Is that what I hear you saying?
Yes, certainly.
But you also you also do know that the dynamics for this year's elections are different. So just wanted to get more as regards how you think, beyond what you said, they can really move forward to ensuring that they wrestle power from the MPP that also is strategically looking at breaking the 8.
Yeah, of course, they needed to put their right foot forward to ensure that they're able to wrestle power from the MPP. I've heard certain names being mentioned that are not part of the team. I think that, I've heard Harun Idris's name, but my position is that he's incumbent and he's going to do a lot of legwork within the party, especially his constituency. So at first, I also heard the name of Felix Kwasi. I said, no, that is a wrong move. You don't have to change such a person. What you need to do is to make him a freelancer. So that is the more reason why the communication officer's position was kept. He remains a freelancer and can easily settle between all the committees, and coordinate in terms of, communication. Of course, the flag bearer still kept what's the name? Madame Mukhtar. She's also a fine communicator, but maybe Felix will also do some work over there, because you need to communicate strongly in the Queen's language, and that's of the most popular, Akan language, so that the communication will sync well, with the people. That you will have to do that.
Doc, before you go, let's talk about the Kwabena Dufo factor. There's a man who pulled out last minute of the presidential race and is now part of this team. How important is this to the NDC win in 2024?
I think he said he's not part of the
Dr. Kwabena Dufo pulled out of the presidential race and is now part of the team. I'm just asking how important you see this going into this major election.
Yeah, because when it comes to elections, it creates all kind of acrimony between those at the top brass and then at the lower level. So when you have certain personalities, like for example, Mr. Koshampo coming on board, being part of the steering committee is very instructive. Bringing Dr. Before in itself is quite instructive, because you did not give him the vice presidential slot. And there is the argument out there that as a way of showing up the support base from the Ashanti region, you need to put at the forefront some of these personalities. Perhaps the candidate, the person that is missing, that I think maybe they will have to find a place for him is Kudumonsi. He equally contested Mr. Mahama. They will need to find a slot for him. If they've not done so, if they have any plans for him, maybe I'm not aware, but if they are not, at least they can give him the Ashanti region to coordinate as a special position, so that you'll be able to liaise with all the executives lineup, and then those who will be manning the affairs of the presidential and then the vice presidential candidate, so that can be a kind of special envoy in addition to that of Dr. Dufo. I think probably that is something missing.
We'll have to end it here. Thank you very much, Dr. Jonathan Asante-Okyere. He is a senior lecturer at UCC in the Central Region and a political analyst. Thank you for speaking to us. You're still here on the Midday News on 3FM. When we come back, we'll tell you why the Supreme Court, by a majority 5-2 decision, has dismissed a suit filed against the Food and Drugs Authority on celebrities advertising alcoholic beverages. Don't go away.
Now is an opportune moment for investors to consider the remarkable investment opportunity presented by the Floria Residence, the pinnacle of luxury living in Cantonment. offering a range of options from executive studios to lavish penthouses, including 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, and 3-bedroom apartments. Amenities and services includes round-the-clock security services, dedicated play areas, a bustling commercial zone, state-of-the-art fitness facilities and gym, a well-appointed conference room, an elegant rooftop sky bar, and a breathtaking rooftop infinity swimming pool. Additionally, residents benefit from the convenience of a secured 3-floor underground car park, while those residing in the ocean view penthouses enjoy unparalleled vistas. We are located opposite the Laboni Palace Mall, Accra. Contact us on 0595 700008.
And you're still here on the Midday News on 3FM. Thank you very much for staying. The Supreme Court, by a majority 5-2 decision, has dismissed a suit filed against the Food and Drugs Authority's ban on celebrities advertising alcoholic beverages. The case was filed by Mark Osai, who is protesting the legislation by the FDA that celebrities advertising alcoholic beverages is barred for the protection of children. Lord Adwasare is our man in court. He joins us live on the line. Lord, first of all, give us the background to this and exactly what the FDA legislation said.
Okay, so this is the Food and Drugs Authority in February 2016 published guidelines regarding advertisements and many other things on alcohol. Now, the part that affects professionals and celebrities states that no well-known personality or professional shall be using alcoholic beverage advertising. Now, this was the part that McDarlin, in a private citizen, was seeking the apex courts to hold as unconstitutional because he indicated that that provision or directive by the FDA is unconstitutional and in contravention of Article 17 of the Constitution, which talks about the right against discrimination and other matters. But the Supreme Court in its ruling indicated that the directive by the FDA isn't unreasonable and excessive. In fact, they went ahead to indicate that it does not in any way contravene the provision of the Constitution. And that was why the Supreme Court dismissed this application by McDarlington, which is.
Lord, I know that a representative from the FDA spoke. Who is that person? What did the person say briefly before we hear him? Hello, Lord.
Yeah,
I was asking. Yes, I was asking about the response of the FDA to this decision by the Supreme Court.
Right. So the bench of legal, Mr. Joseph Benny, he was very pleased with the decision by the Supreme Court because he stated that the sole aim of the authority is to protect minors. Now, the arguments by the celebrities and other parties interested have been saying that minors in the country, as it were, are already affected, and indeed some of them are actually patronizing drugs and alcohol, among other things. But the Director of Legal indicated that this is a first step to making sure that celebrities are not used to, project alcohol or alcoholism in a different light to minors. He indicated that they can use other means apart from advertising alcoholic beverages to make money, because a lot of the issues that we has to do with bread and butter issues. You can listen to him.
There are medicines out there. They can advertise. We allow all those products to be advertised. The only thing we are saying that don't advertise alcohol.
Question we're asking is, to what limit is this ban that you're placing on celebrities? Because most shows in Ghana are sponsored by alcoholic beverages, and it is the youth that attend these shows. Yes, and when they go there, they will see these brand placements.
We are not saying you shouldn't sell alcohol. You shouldn't advertise it. You can advertise alcohol, but it should not be by a celebrity or a well-known personality. That's the distinction. We should make it clear. So this is advertise alcohol. You can advertise alcohol.
So when the celebrity is billed to perform at the event and mentions that this alcoholic
it's a
beverage,
promotion and he's not allowed to do that.
He's not allowed to do that.
These issues are basically bread and butter issues. When are you looking forward to partner and Georgia with sitting down?
Always available. we are open to them. And we would have expected that they would have even come to us for a discussion instead of coming to court. But it's everybody's right to go to court, and we appreciate that. In fact, it's a decision that will guide everybody. It's good the Supreme Court has pronounced on this, so that it will guide all of us in our positions. So we are very happy about it.
You heard the Director of Legal at the Food and Drugs Authority, Joseph Bernie. Lord Adwasare is still on the line with us to wrap up our conversation. Lord, do you have any indication that the petitioner intends to review this judgment from the Supreme Court?
Well, so the representative of the plaintiffs, Me Ofuli Yate, indicated that they are going to confer with their legal team because indeed they've already indicated that they do not agree with the decision of the Apex Court, but they will seek counsel from their legal team, and then upon that counsel will decide whether they will appeal or review the decision by the Supreme Court.
What would you have to say? Oh, we are glad at least it got here. I mean, the judge did mention it was in the board case, and we're actually happy it came to them. We don't agree with the outcome, but we have to take it as it is. There's nothing else we can do about it.
Does this end the advocacy to have celebrities to be able to advertise for alcoholic brands?
No, we definitely still go on, probably find different ways to go about it. But at the end of the day, we still see some type of work that the musicians do with the brands, which is the alcoholic companies. So hopefully we have the ways around it. We really wanted a dialogue with FDA as to what we can do, what we can't do, because the first time we talked to them, I think it came up as, let's say, a famous musician, let's say Sarkodie or Stomp or anybody, is after years of doing music, they want to start their own, let's say, the beer company. They can't do that. There's things that we don't really know the limitations properly. So this is more or less not even to win or lose. It was more or less to have clear indications or what a clear picture is as to what musicians can do and cannot do when it comes to working with brands. Because as of now, we know alcoholic companies still sponsor shows. Is that possible? Is that not possible? We don't know.
Will this dialogue continue?
It has to continue. That dialogue will definitely continue to get to know, have a better idea of exactly what the FDA wants done. If it's simply just don't advertise for them, that's fine. But if we can work with them in any other capacities, we want that explained. That's really what this whole thing is.
Are you going to initiate same, or you expect them to come forward?
Oh, we have to initiate because it is for our benefit. They don't care, so we definitely have to initiate that and see how that goes.
We know a lot of celebrities are interested.
You heard of Ofuli Yate. He is the legal representative for celebrities who are in court against that FDA legislation asking them not to advertise alcoholic beverages. But you heard that the Supreme Court has dismissed that petition or that suit against the FDA. News coming in, we understand that the leadership of the governing New Patriotic Party is currently in a meeting at the party's national headquarters. We understand that the meeting is discussing an announcement of running mate to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. The news team is monitoring this very closely and will bring you update as and when we do have it. Now, 100 hectares of land from Nesi to Elubo through Kotobo 2 in Jomoro district of the Western region have been taken over by Galamseyers. There's more in this report by Ekio Foriwadako.
Issue where our cocoa is on the decline, where our farmlands are dying, the people in Elembele are very concretely the plans of the two parties, what they are going to do to take out of this nemesis of illegal mining, and how are they going to ensure that if we are going to mine, we will mine sustainably, and as a country we will not have this issue where our cocoa is on the decline, where our farmlands are dying, the people in Elembele are crying that their lands are going. What is happening in Dwaboso now? I'm calling on the DCE in Dwaboso now that go and look at the challenge that is happening, the lands that are being desecrated. Make sure that there are no powerful people who are behind us. Minerals Commission, environmental EPA, make sure that these people that we're talking about, they have the necessary permits. And Cocoa Board, if you are spending our money to...
And you rather heard that the convener for the media coalition against Galamsey, Dr. Ken Ashigbe, in that interaction with Ekio Foriwadako. We'll bring you more later. that's how we end the news here on 3FM. My name is Beatrice Adu. Log on to 3news.com for more news. Thank you very much for joining us. Have a good afternoon.
Hello there, good afternoon. It's time now for Business Daily. Coming up today, Ghana records the worst decline in cocoa production of 20.2% in more than a decade. What could be accounting for this? We'll hear from government statistician Professor Samuel Kobna Enin.
In the last six quarters, we've seen the cocoa subsector contracting 4 times, which is unusual with a trend that we saw between 2017 and 2022 quarter 3.
Also, cedi's woes persist as it depreciates to 21% against the dollar, with a unit of the greenback selling at 15 cedis 70 pesos, and government set to commit 2.5 billion cedi seed fund to scale up small and medium-sized enterprises. We hear from a Deputy Minister of Finance.
So what you want to do is to support vibrant SMEs to grow to be much more bigger.
Well, I'm Michael Ogbodu. I'll bring you details of our top stories and more shortly. Please stay with us. Well, thank you for your time. Straight into our top story. Ghana has recorded the worst decline in cocoa production of 20.2% in more than a decade, according to data from the Ghana Statistical Service. This comes at a time when the country is desperately in need of foreign exchange to stabilize their ever-depreciating cedi. Ghana's cocoa sector has seen about 4 contractions out of the 6 quarters in the last 2 years, a situation which has been predominantly attributed to activities of illegal small-scale mining.
The crop sector contributed about 89.5%, of which growth had a share of 7.2%. Forestry and logging sector contracted in the first quarter of 2024, and the fishing subsector saw the fastest growth rate in the first quarter of 2024 by 4.7%. The cocoa subsector continued to see a reversal of the continuous growth rate that we saw between 2017 and 2022. Between 2017 quarter 1 and quarter 3 2022, the cocoa subsector never contracted, but in the last six quarters, we've seen the cocoa subsector contracting 4 times, which is unusual with a trend that we saw between 2017 and 2022 quarter 3.
So that was Professor Samuel Kobna Enim. He is the government statistician. Meanwhile, the cedi lost 3.88% in value to the US dollar last week on the spot market, increasing its year-to-date depreciation to 21.2%. This follows the strengthening of the US dollar and renewed local corporate foreign exchange demand. It, however, started the week June 18, 2024 unchanged, selling at 15 cedis 70 pesos at the forex bureaus. The local currency also shed 2.43% against the pound and 2.87% to the euro last week. Now, away from that, the Ghana Chamber of Mines is optimistic about a boost in mineral exploration following the government's plan to review the VAT components imposed in a mining exploration course for prospecting companies. According to the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, Abu Jinapor, this move is necessary to reduce the tax burden on the industry. Speaking to the media, the Chamber's President, Michael Akafia, praised the initiative, stating it would position Ghana as a preferred destination for mineral exploration in the sub-region.
It's particularly important. That's one of the things that the Chamber has been at the forefront in advocating for. And the reason why that is the case is that we operate not as an island, but in a sub-region. And we did a comparative analysis that showed that our exploration activities are hampered by, fiscal measures such as VAT on the activities of exploration. And in fact, that ties into earlier response I gave about the timeline between when you start a greenfield project, especially in Ghana's case, the last record of it, the Kaduna Namdini project, 11 years in the making. And so it gives you an idea about the fact that we are not having enough in the pipeline as far as the future of, the growth of the industry is concerned. So that is particularly significant, because then that would make us more competitive than we've been in previous years. And hopefully we'll be able to attract some of that FDI, foreign direct investment, in the sector that we lost to our peers in the sub-region on account of impediments like the costs resulting from VAT on inputs in exploration in particular. So hopefully once that gets resolved, we hope that we can become as attractive as is expected, so that we can bring back some of those investments that we lost in the region.
So that was Michael Akafia. He's president of the Ghana Chamber of Mines. Now, away from that, the government is set to commit 2.5 billion cedis seed fund to support small and medium-skilled enterprises in the country in a bid to bolster value-added exports and create employment. Deputy Minister of Finance, Dr. Alex Ampabing, in an interview on Business Focus on TV3, indicated that the purpose of the fund is to support vibrant SMEs already doing well in their prospective fields to scale up to become global giants in the near future.
GEA, some also budget, and also part will come from Development Bank Ghana. The finance minister, more like his baby, is spearheading this growth and opportunities program with an envelope of 2.3 billion Ghana cedis. So what we want to do is to support vibrant SMEs to grow to be much more bigger in the spaces where they operate. This is not about just giving the loan or the money and then sit back, but the whole idea is to nurture them, give all the necessary support alongside the financial support we are giving to make sure that these become very powerful players in the economy. And this will help with job creation, increase our revenue through PAYE and CIT in the long term.
Dr. Ampabing also added that to ensure the success of the program, capacities of the beneficiary SMEs will be properly built through training programs.
So there's going to be one side is the money, the other side is the actual support, which works you through training, building capacity to make sure that these entities are not left on their own, but they are supported throughout the journey and become the formidable organization we want them to be. And I mean, they are not going to be from small to the larger companies or businesses you want by sitting down and folding your arms. So there's going to be a whole lot of support mechanism for the 100 champions, which the minister calls it. So we are going to have 100 champion SMEs to be like a test case that these were once small, medium enterprises, but here they have been metamorphosed into bigger entities in the country.
So that was Dr. Alex Ampabing. He is a deputy finance minister. Now, players within the private sector say they are looking forward to government's implementation of the digital economy policy. In a bid to enhance efficiency and ensure inclusivity through technology, government developed the Ghana Digital Economy Policy, which has been laid before Cabinet for approval. Speaking at the launch of the Ghana Digital Innovation Week, component manager at GIZ Ghana, Emmanuel Mumuni, said this policy, when approved, will help with Ghana's economic growth.
Government is always an important player, and that for once, just fertilizing the ecosystem that everybody feels a part of it. So first of all, it will be policy related, and I know a few weeks ago the minister announced that the digital economy policy has been approved by cabinet, and in this policy it has a lot to do with how we bring everybody into the fold, how we ensure that we don't have inequality in our country, how we some of the safety nets that the government wants to put in place to ensure that people have the economic viability in whatever they do. And I think this is one of the good things that the government is doing. There are other programs around how to come out of the effects of the COVID that are still running. And I think if they are implemented in the right way, it would really go a long way to helping private sector actors, because there's a lot of private sector actors coming into play CSOs, International Development Organization, but all of that would not make any difference if government is not providing that environment that is already doing. So I think it's a good thing that government is doing.
Emmanuel Mumuni is component manager at GIZ Ghana. Finally, Chief Executive of Impact Investing Ghana, Amalate, highlighted the relevance of digital technology in shaping the economy and urged Ghanaians to embrace it.
Digital technology touches everybody's life. It makes our lives better. We are all using, depending on where you live, we're using Uber, or you're using trotro tractor if you're in a rural area to plow your farm. All of us are using mobile money. We're using SMS. And so all these technologies are making our lives better. There's more. There's more to make your life even better. There's more you can use to improve your business, improve your life. And so people should be curious and should come and learn more about the technologies going on and begin to use them to get even more impact in what they do. The agenda will be vibrant, it will be cutting edge, it will be diverse, and people will learn, collaborate, and build capacity.
So that was Chief Executive of Impact Investing Ghana, Amalate. They're bringing an end to Business Daily here on 3FM 92.7. For more business stories, please check out our website. It's 3news.com/business. I am Michael Ogbodu. Thank you for listening. As always, please stay safe and Black Rasta is on standby.